Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. In this video today, I want to talk about boot camping and what is going on over in Korea right now. Obviously, we know there's a ton of different teams and players boot camping, getting ready either for summer split, which is still, more than a month away, or preparing for MSI. I'm recording this video the day before MSI gets started, and so many different teams, players, regions, fans are still excited. Everyone starts at tournament 0-0. Everyone, is hopped up on copium, and we're all ready to go. And there's some players popping off over in Korean solo queue right now, getting us extra excited, about the future of our regions and MSI and worlds and all this stuff. That's what we're going to be talking about today. But first, a word from today's sponsor. And this is, once again, Prize Picks. This is daily fantasy made easy. You simply pick your favorite stars, choose your over-under, and watch your players win. A really, really awesome and easy-to-use website and app that you can get in the App Store or in the Google Play Store. They do League of Legends esports, and of course, they are doing MSI. Here's a couple of picks that I'm looking at for day one. We'll have to see how these play out. I'm taking Danny over 3.5 kills against G2, and I'm taking Gumayusi under 6.5 kills. Just a really, really big number that I don't know if you're going to be able to pull off in a single game against Saigon Buffalo. We'll see how my picks play out, but if you want to make some picks of your own, check out the first link in the description below, and Prize Picks is going to match your first deposit for new users up to $100. Really awesome deal. Thank you so much to them for supporting us. Hopefully you guys support them as well. With that being said, let's get right into this. There's been so many posts, so many people talking about this. Obviously, every time there's an international tournament, there's going to be checking out the different players in solo queue. Who's popping off in solo queue, who's struggling, who has a crazy win rate, who's winning a ton of games, who's the first to hit challenger. But this is amplified when the events are in Korea. I mean, yeah, in China, you have the Chinese Super Server, which is pretty interesting and fun to watch. When events were in Europe, you have, I'm thinking about Showmaker going up against all the native European solo queue players and stuff. And that was hilarious too. And thinking ahead to Worlds, hey, Worlds is going to be in North America. We're going to be playing on hopefully Champions Queue, but maybe North American Solo Queue. That's going to be spicy. But when the event's in Korea, tracking Korean Solo Queue, the most famous Solo Queue, the best practice environment in the world, whatever. It's always interesting and fun to watch. Now, MSI sucks a little bit because you only have one kind of representative from each region, so there's not as many Western teams and players here. Obviously, you have China, who usually plays on Korean solo queue anyway. You have the Koreans playing on their own solo queue. But everyone's been talking about Danny, and this has been really, really fun to watch. Danny hits challenger on the Korean server, which, kind of expected. You assume most of the pro players, depending on how much they play, will be able to hit, at least Grandmaster, if not Challenger, especially, you make it to MSI, you are the champion of your region. But he's done so with a 75% win rate. This post says that Danny is the first non-sub bootcamping MSI pro to hit Challenger on the Korean ladder. And he did so going 63-21, which is just crazy because, especially in Korean solo queue, we know the games can be super, super volatile. There's a lot of, early FFing. There's a lot of giving up. Every once in a while, you're going to run into trolls. And especially when you're a professional player going to another server, there's going to be people who don't like you. There's going to be people who want to see you fail, who want to see you lose. There's going to be people who just think it's cool to play with pro players and get excited and want to impress you and all that stuff. But everyone's giving your best. Everyone's getting your best. So to have a win rate like that, there's definitely some luck involved. There's definitely some chance involved, but it's also super, super impressive. And it just makes me super excited because we know Evil Geniuses is one of the younger teams in North America, and for them to be going over to this event with three, kind of younger, more inexperienced players and Inspire, Danny, and JoJo. And I'm just thinking about all the MSI scrims they're going to get. They're scrimming against RNG. They're scrimming against T1. They haven't necessarily got to scrim against G2 yet, but even then, getting to scrim against, Caps and Yankos eventually is going to be so, so massive for these players. Even if MSI goes horribly, even if they, totally shit the bed, even if they just get really, really beat badly in stage 2. I hope they at least make it through stage 1. I don't think that's even going to be an issue. I think they're going to be able to get past order really easily. This is going to be amazing experience. Getting to go over, play the solo queue, play the scrims, get stage time in front of a crowd. These are the experiences we need our young, especially young North American players like Danny and JoJo to be getting. And that's how we're going to hopefully, craft them into the next generation of North American talent. You obviously have the same on the European side, for G2, Targamas, Flockhead, all these guys getting the exact same experience. So this is an awesome time for the West. Not only do we have two teams that we think are going to MSI with high hopes, maybe they're not going to win the whole thing, but there's a world where G2 could maybe make it to the finals. There's a world where EG could maybe pull off something crazy and make it to the finals. There's at least a world where they can go in and maybe take a game or two off RNG, maybe take a game or two off T1, maybe, be able to go back to North America not only with their heads held high, but also the experiences that level them up as individual players and level them up as a team, which will then go back and help their regions be even more competitive and even better going forward in the future. So, as an LCS fan, a North American fan, and just a fan of the West, I'm rooting for G2. I'm rooting for, Europe as well. I'm super, super excited about this tournament, but this has been awesome. The rest of this post says, impressively, he's been able to maintain his win rate as his MMR has climbed higher, as he's now regularly in games with multiple LCK and LPL pros, which has to be just awesome for Danny. Super, super exciting and fun. It will be exciting to see if he can keep this performance in solo queue and transfer it to the MSI stage. And yes, I'm so, so excited to see that. Obviously, people had questions going into the playoffs about the EG younger players, like, hey, is the stage going to get to them? Are the lights too bright? Is the crowd too crazy? Are they going to be nervous? Are they going to crack under the pressure? And Danny and JoJo absolutely did not do that. It seemed like they even leveled up. They even played better in front of the crowd. And kind of the interviews after from Danny and JoJo were like, hey, we love the crowd. Danny was saying he's a calm, cool, collected person. JoJo plays into the crowd super, super well. They just keep trash talking. They just keep going, just ready to go. And it's been super, super fun and exciting to watch. I wanted to look at trackingthepros.com/bootcamp, where you can actually see what's going on with all the different bootcamping accounts. Like I said, this is mostly, going to be the regions that aren't already playing on Korean solo queue. These are the Riot accounts that they're getting. That's also, of course, another thing is that these Riot accounts have like the boosted MMR or whatever. I know it says here, this is one way you can tell an account was created by Riot for a player, because we'll have all 20 rune pages unlocked, be a fresh account, but already 30. These accounts also start with Plat 1 internal MMR, which means they automatically start off against players around Plat 1 or D4. So it is usually a little bit easier to climb up, but still, you look at the number one player right now is Kaori, who is the AD carry sub that EG has brought to the tournament. He's their Academy AD carry. And from what I've heard, EG is really, really excited about this guy too. And this is super, super cool. I know, like 100 Thieves last year when they brought Tenacity, he was able to grind solo queue. He was like super, super high ranked challenger. He did some awesome things. That was great for him. And now Evil Genius is getting to do the same thing with Kaori as well. Now, Kaori is a Turkish player. He's a 20-year-old AD carry from Turkey. So, he's not, North American talent or whatever. But he is, kind of a young up-and-coming player that the EG also seems like is doing an awesome job building up. Now, obviously, they have Danny already there, so I don't think Kaori is going to be starting for EG anytime soon. But maybe they can sell him off. Maybe they can just help build him up for another North American team, which again will overall help the region. But he's doing awesome. He is popping off. Almost a 60% win rate, 196 games, just absolutely grinding. And he is 722 LP challenger. But then of course here you have Danny, which to me is super, super, super impressive. When you're looking at all the games, Danny has one of the lower number of games played in 84, and that's not abnormal for Danny. Even back in North America, he was not a Champions queue grinder. He was not a solo queue grinder. There was the post where Double's kind of calling him out about his ways and all that stuff. But hey, Danny silenced everybody. Danny shut everybody up by stomping through the playoffs, being EG's main win condition, just being an absolute monster, and obviously bringing home the LCS title and qualifying for MSI. But he is playing not as many games as everyone else, but he is making the most of them. I mean, to be 668 LP challenger in just 84 games is absolutely insane. And again, holding up that 75% win rate. When we separate by win rate, we have Zeus, the top laner for T1, with a 77% win rate in 35 games. We have Taki, who is the support for Saigon Buffalo, who's gold 3 with a 76% win rate in 13 games. And then you have Danny, and then nobody's really close to him. So anyone who's playing a lot of games does not have a win rate anywhere near Danny, and like that is just super, super cool. Now, I've never been a person that reads too much into solo queue. People were saying, oh, Bjergsen was sucking in Korean solo queue before the season started. He comes back and says, yeah, I wasn't trying to win. I'm trying to improve. I'm working on things. And I do think that that's what solo queue is for at the end of the day. There's ways to win solo queue games that are not applicable at all to like the professional scene or to on stage or whatever. And obviously, playing against a coordinated full team, like a T1 is much different than playing against a grandmaster solo queue team or whatever. So I don't want to read too much into it, but I do think it is really, really cool and really, really exciting. Also, some of the other players that are doing very, very well. You have JoJo. You have Inspired at number 3. He is a high Grandmaster. You have JoJo Pune in Grandmaster as well. And then you have Caps too. And that's super, super cool to see Caps back in an international tournament after missing both the tournaments last year. He has a lot to prove. Him and Yankos need to step up. Flockett is up there as well. He's number 8. It seems like the Western players are having a great experience, performing well in solo queue, and I'm just really, really hyped for EG and G2, and I hope that they come out and pop off. Now, yes, they're going to be in a group with each other. They're just going to be playing each other, but they should both easily be able to make it out of their stage 1 group and get on to stage 2, and that's where the fireworks are going to start. So it's kind of nice that they get, you know, an easier group and able to get their feet wet a little bit before they have to take on the likes of RNG, you know, and T1 and potentially some of these other teams like Detonation Focus Me or PSG Talent or whoever. But yeah, so far so good. Danny really dominating Korean solo queue right now. Make of that as you will, you know, or what you will. Obviously, some people are going to read into that more. Some people are going to think it doesn't matter at all. But I just think it's exciting that these players are getting this experience. Super, super excited that there's going to be a crowd again. Super excited to have an event over in Korea. Think it's going to be awesome. I hate the schedule as a North American fan. You know, it's going to be late nights, early mornings, whatever. But I'm ready to go. I'm all in on MSI. I'm all in on G2. I'm all in on EG. This is going to be fun. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Somebody drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate that so much. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this stuff. Are you impressed with what Danny's doing in Korean solo queue right now? Do you think it doesn't matter at all? Do you think he's going to pop off at MSI or maybe shit the bed? I don't know. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions. Consider checking out Prize Picks. First link in the description below. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.